May I introduce the Honorable Curwensville Borough officials. But first, we need to look at the Borough Code in regard to election, taking an oath, and that which is important prior to taking the oath. And if we look at Borough Code 801, eligibility, we find the following.
801. Eligibility. A. Residency the following shall apply. 1. Except as provided under subsection C. Only registered electors of the borough shall be eligible to elective borough offices. 2. Before being sworn into office, each elected borough officer shall present a signed affidavit to the borough secretary that states that the officer resides in the borough, or within the ward in the case of a ward office, from which elected and has resided in the borough continuously for at least 1 year immediately prior to the officer's election.
This citation of law is from the Borough Code of Pennsylvania, Title 8. And this is part of the responsibility of all elected officials. And without the affidavit of residency, you're not a councilman. With the help of the borough secretary, Miss Bracken, I was able to discover the affidavit of residency and the oath of office for the officials of Curwensville Borough. Let's look at each one. Even though the mayor does not have powers to make decisions for the borough, the Honorable Mayor is James Hoover, and you see his affidavit for residency, and then you see James A. Hoover's mayor of Curwensville Borough for 4 years, and he took an oath, and each one of the councilors are going to be taking the same oath as recorded on each of these that are pictured. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity, that I have not paid or contributed or promised to pay or contribute, either directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing to procure my nomination or election, except for necessary and proper expenses expressly authorized by law, that I have not knowingly violated any election law of this Commonwealth, or procured it to be done by others in my behalf, that I will not knowingly receive, directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty pertaining to my office other than the compensation allowed by law, sworn and affirmed and subscribed before me this 3rd day of January 2022. And you see the Honorable Mayor signed his signature, and he took this oath before Frederick Ammerman, President Judge, and Paul E. Cherry. The next public official is Sarah R. Corella, and she is the president of Curwensville Borough Council. You see her affidavit of residency that's required by 801 of the Borough Code. The next sheet is her oath of office for the position in council, Sarah R. Corella. The oath that we want to emphasize is this: I, Sarah Corella, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. And she signed this on January the 3rd, 2022. The Vice President of Curwensville Borough Council is Harriet L. Carfley. And she took the same oath, and you're seeing the affidavit of residency at this point, which is done correctly. As a notary public, I see the seal of the notary public and the date that she did this. It was definitely prior to her oath of office, which we can now see on the next page. She took the same solemn oath. And not only does this document have her signature, but she did this before a notary public, not before the mayor. And she did this on December 12th of 2019. So her office was not this year, but she apparently has a 4-year term. The next one is Keith Allen Simcox. This is his affidavit of residency, and he took his oath on January the 6th, 2020. Took the same oath, the same solemn oath. There is no affidavit of residency given to your reporter, and without the affidavit of residency, if in fact it is not in the borough records, Ms. Bracken gave me all these and said that this, in compliance with the right to know request, that I requested the affidavits of residency and also the oaths of office. So David Donahue may not. I don't know. I'm only alleging. But the fact that it was not given to me, I would say on the strength of that, that he is not a councilman. Thomas Carfley. You see an oath of office that he took, and it was on the 24th of January 2018. There's no affidavit of residency required by law, so whatever position he had as a borough official, he was not properly appointed pursuant to 801 of the Borough Code, Title 8. The next one is Robert Moore. He took an oath of office the 3rd of January 2022. And this was before the Honorable Mayor. There was no affidavit of residency. Therefore, his oath of office is invalid according to Borough Code 801, Title 8 of the Borough Code of Pennsylvania. What does this mean if you're not qualified to take position? Anything that these individuals voted on is null and void in the opinion of your reporter. The next individual, not sure whether these are councilmen or not, but Michael Adam Clark, you'll see his affidavit of residency, and it was duly done on the 29th of December 2021. And his oath of office appears to be duly done, but there's no seal of the corporation on several of these, so the secretary did not seal these documents, or it is not visible on the photocopies that your reporter was given in regard to the right to know law. Michael Adam Clark also took the solemn oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth. And he promised to discharge the duties of his office with fidelity. And this concludes the documents that were given to your reporter under the right to know law. And this was an introduction and background of the council. And I do not personally know all of these councilors. If I inadvertently pronounce names incorrectly, I apologize for that. But now we will see the council meeting for Curwensville Borough on March the 14th, 2022. Thank you for viewing this presentation.
I'll wait a couple of minutes for the folks here. Oh, the agenda. Anyone need an agenda?
You have a printed one.
Oh, thank you. I have one, thank you.
Okay. That's where I got mine in my email. Oh, you don't, do you need them?
No,
Okay.
Curwensville Borough Council will now come to order. Please stand for the flag. Cheer. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will have the approval of the minutes for the last meeting, February 28th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 28th, 2022 meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second
Those in favor?
it. Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Do we have any public comments?
I'd like to know what I have to do to get a permit for 400 Bloomington Avenue and 628 Center Street.
You have to come into the office, but I don't think you can get one right now.
What do I have to do to get one?
They're investigating your houses and everything, so can't have them right now.
I want to get the ball rolling.
His lawyer has to contact.
yeah. The vacant property board, you guys have to decide. I did get the applications for permits, but, you know, I was told that he can't have them because his house is in process of being condemned. So, what do you think, Heather?
Well, there's 30 days to be reviewed, and I know it was brought to my attention this morning that those were received. I don't know the actual date. But given some of the violations that are there, it could prevent him from that. So I'm going to get that information over to Terry and code enforcement so they can make a decision on there. But given the repeated violations, there are some laws that have to be taken into account now that they've crossed into habitual violations is the easiest way to say it, and it hasn't been remedied since then. Do you have the date on this, Terry?
I received these today.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so and under the code, there are 30 days to approve or deny it. If it is denied, there'll be a letter with the explanations as to why.
So that's, you'll have to wait the 30 days.
I could have it fixed up in 30 days.
Anything else?
That's it.
Anybody else have anything? Okay, we're going to go into executive session now. And Mr. Spade, you will have to remove your cameras for now. You
Okay.
can't have them in here during the executive session.
Thank you.
1939. The German foe begins its ruthless march of conquest and sets the stage for World War II. Poland's 34 million inhabitants, crushed, scattered, and enslaved. Tens of thousands of square miles of territory shrink before the movement of lightning armored columns. Poland and the world learn the meaning of a grim new word, blitzkrieg.
Have you ever heard of the general government? It was a place for the undesirables. On the 1st of September 1939, Germany invaded Poland. After their conquest, the eastern part of Poland went to the Soviets. Two western parts were annexed by the German Reich, and the central part was named the general government. It was basically the dumping ground for the undesirables. It was a place where the Jews and the Poles had to live and die.
In 1922, William Leroy Spade was born and lived in La Jose, Pennsylvania as a child, graduating from CI or Coalport Irvona High School, the building now known as Lucas Supply on Route 53 between Coalport and Irvona, Pennsylvania. He started the journey of life. As a young boy, William Spade started working with his uncle delivering milk for Sanitary Milk Company of Curwensville, Pennsylvania. He was promoted, after World War II, to an in-milk plant functions bottling milk in glass bottles, later in wax cartons, finally in plastic-coated cartons for milk delivery to homes, stores and schools. I remember small glass bottles of milk in school classrooms and in lunchrooms. The caps on the glass bottles had hard thick white cardboard paper circles to hold the paper caps on the glass bottle. Many school children saved and collected the white cardboard circles a little larger than a quarter or 25-cent piece. William Spade worked at Sanitary Milk Company for 40 years to the day it was closed. He locked the door himself the last day. On January 14, 1942, William Spade was inducted into the United States Army, where he served the United States of America in the Second World War, first in communications and then in the motor pool as a mechanic. He served in Germany in the Third Army near the Battle of the Bulge, fighting until he reached the Baltic Sea. Then traveled back down and over the Rhine River on his way home. William Leroy Spade's separation qualification record states he separated from the U.S. Army on December 9, 1945. Until the age 96, he lived in the house at 402 James Street, Curwensville, Pennsylvania. Property rights were never questioned. William Spade fought tyranny in Germany and came home to work and enjoy his house in peace. Then William Spade died and was buried in the uniform of this country as a veteran of World War II. After his death years later, a letter came in the mail addressed to William L. Spade. His house was targeted without any constitutional or property right afforded to him. The letter you are now seeing on the video screen. A new law was created for undesirables in Curwensville Borough. His house was labeled without any constitutional right of a hearing, rights of appeal. His house was prejudiced by the local government in the opinion of your reporter. Is this like the actions of the Third Reich of Germany that William Spade fought against in the World War II? No hearing or rights of appeal that is under the Constitution of the United States of America. Property owners are labeled, demanded to pay $200 as an undesirable in Curwensville, Pennsylvania. When will your house be labeled undesirable? See letter of September 20, 2021. Remember, labeling is libel and is unlawful in the opinion of your reporter. In the meeting tonight on March 14, 2022, you heard an individual, Mr. Alan Rowles, request a permit to recreate or refurbish his house. He was denied a permit. Are councilors servants of the people? Are they vested with the position on council to assist and aid the people? Why 30 days to consider a permit? What if there was an emergency? Have property rights been denied to citizens and taxpayers? In an invoice issued by Heather L. Bozo-Vish law firm dated November 15, 2021, $1,171 of taxpayer dollars was spent for attorney fees for 2 resolutions and 2 declaration of taking 627 Center Street and 315/317 Bloomington. Has the borough embarked in the real estate business? When will it be your house that they will be seeking to take by a declaration and court proceeding to execute their arbitrary and capricious ends? the Curwensville Borough Ordinance 490 starts the downward spiral for taking and demolition found in Ordinance 490. What is a vacant building under Ordinance 490? Vacant property: any building, structure, or property that is not legally occupied. So, if you have a standalone garage, do you have a vacant structure? Do you pay $200 to have a standalone building? Are some people exempt from paying the $200? Is the Borough of Curwensville using arbitrary and capricious leverage upon homeowners in Curwensville, Pennsylvania? Has conformity to equity standards or statutes been abused by local government? According to Curwensville Borough Ordinance 490, it appears not to have any variances or exceptions in the statute to the knowledge and belief of your reporter. So, the code enforcer must arbitrarily and capriciously determine if the property is vacant or have violations. You have no property rights, appeal rights, or a hearing. Your reporter in written appearance requested, under the Constitution of the United States, a hearing, and was denied twice. Do you feel like an undesirable trapped in a system of local government abuse? Remember, before the executive session, Mr. Alan Rowles asked for a permit to reclaim or refurbish his property. Appears the borough does not want Mr. Rowles to refurbish his property. Appears they want to take his property and possibly demolition the property to remove an undesirable. Remember, the councilors all held up their hands and took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. Remember the plea of allegiance. Each councilor held their hand over their heart and verbosely stated liberty and justice for all. Will the Curwensville Borough Council create an ordinance to change the plea of allegiance to end with liberty and justice for all except for some in Curwensville? The executive session is over for negotiating police finances in secret, and it is time to go back to the Curwensville Borough Council meeting. You will hear several grants funds addressed. Will there be an effort to secure grant funds for residents of Curwensville Borough who cannot afford to refurbish their homes? Grant funds for help residents would be more appropriate than grants for taking and demolition. Thank you for the privilege to share a commentary during the official Curwensville Borough Council executive session. Vision Press Production is dedicated to constitutional rights and the right to know law. Vision Press Production believes you have the right to know and has been video recording for 15 years. Respectfully, Vision Press Production.
The next resolution is for the grant I just mentioned. Is that correct? I'm sorry, I apologize. Resolution 2022-2 would be, I make a motion, we make the resolution 2022-2 for the above mentioned grant, DCED local share fund of $249,675.
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Okay, we had talked about the wooden posts at Urban Park are in very bad shape. They're rotten, they're not sturdy, and they go along the perimeter of the park. And so what we would have talked to Danny Russell from Russell Stone, and we'd like to purchase 60 of them, 4 feet by 2 feet by 16 inches. And these would be stones that would replace those wooden posts. And, and they would go along the front perimeter of the park. And that would be a cost of $10,500. Now, we do have the money for that. We had budgeted other monies for a grant that we ended up not needing. And so I know it is costly, but I'd like you to consider that. I'd like to make a motion that we replace those wooden posts with the 4 foot by 2 foot by 16-inch stones from Russell Stone.
And that's going to, every post over there will be a stone now.
In the front perimeter.
Okay, just on that front.
Yes, for right now.
Okay.
For right now.
Yeah, because some of them, there's people rock them and take them out
Yeah.
and say they were driving in there.
I don't think they'll bother these stones.
I think that's great.
Yes, he felt that this would be secure enough.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Did you say how long it would take to get them?
No, so I'm gonna call him and tell him.
We're hoping we can get them by May, because you know that's the 100-year.
Anniversary of that park.
Okay, moving on to old business. Dave?
We need to purchase the mower head for the Tiger boom mower. That's the machine that they cut all the banks and the high weeds that we can't mow. It's something that we've had that tractor all them years, and it finally wore out and broke. So I'd like to make a motion that we purchase the mowing head for a price of $6,640.74.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
Yeah, good.
And we had talked to you before about the new signs for Urban Park, the new park wall signs and things that are going to be posted in the individual pavilions. And especially for our handicap accessible, our inclusive playground signs for that. And, let's see.
I have a picture in there, right?
Pardon me?
I don't think I have a
Okay.
picture in there, sorry.
All right. And that's for $850.75, so I'd like to make a motion that we purchase the new signs for Urban Park, $850.75.
I second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. We had bids for the 2008 Charger and Bigler Township offered.
I did get 3 bids for the car, but then when we got the offer from the township, municipalities take precedence.
Yeah, we have to
honor them.
honor them by law.
And they offered $5,000 for the car.
Okay. I make a motion, we sell the 2008 Charger to Bigler Township for the amount of $5,000.
And that's being sold as is, right?
Yes.
Sounds right.
Yep.
Because it's gonna be for their police, we don't have to see.
Yeah.
So we don't
I don't
have
take
to.
anything off.
Except, I think the radio.
Just
the radio,
Just the
yeah.
radio. Yeah, just the radio.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And then we have the bids for the park pavilion.
So then, Harriet, if you wanna do the honors. Now this one, we just wanna do demo, so I don't know what you wanna do with that. I
Okay.
think these two, so you can open
Okay, this is from D.L. Anthony Contracting, Anderson Street, Curwensville. It's a demolition and removal of existing pavilion and construction of a new pavilion, 24 foot by 48 foot, with a 27 foot by 51 foot concrete slab. And his amount is $71,466. And this is from John Clare, that'd be how you pronounce it, C-L-A-A-R Excavating in Woodward, Pennsylvania. And this is a lump sum estimate to provide demolition and construction for pavilion number 2. Total estimate per scope and clarifications within. $126,400, and a deduction of $3,510 for the ceiling liner panel. It does not include a number of things: electric demolition or installation, plumbing demolition or installation, permits, changes in the drawings, soil bearing compaction testing, you want me to read all through all these?
No.
Okay, then,
No, I don't know.
all right, so
I didn't hear you say that first one, did that include demo?
it says demolition and removal of existing pavilion and construction. David was looking at those.
Construction of new pavilion of equal size with a 27 to 51 concrete slab. Pass it around.
This is G&R Excavating and Demolition out of Tyrone, and this is for $3,599. And they will completely demolish and remove the existing pavilion, including the foundations, footers, and asphalt. But that's all.
I mean, is that,
This is
So what was
just, this is just demolition.
is that something that we could maybe talk to the other guy and
Have him, what you're saying is have him do that, if that guy will.
I mean, how, is that late, we gotta,
Well, it doesn't make much sense to see if he's gonna knock off 3,600, just have somebody else do it.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, to demolish. Yeah,
I would think we would just stick with one person
Yeah.
and do it all.
I think so too.
I would recommend that.
he can contact them if he wants.
Besides like the one here, I have my hand for 3,000 or.
Right.
Yeah, that guy just wants to tear it down, so he
Demolish
wants
and
to.
remove.
So I think it's,
But we want it rebuilt.
That's that
That's,
one.
this
This guy's a full package. He's demolishing
Where
and
did we
replace.
stand on the budget for it? What had-
we had budgeted 25,000, we were hoping to use some of, the American Rescue money for the remainder.
That's the rest.
Huh?
That's quite a bit of rescue money.
It is quite a bit of rescue money. I don't know, I wasn't thinking it'd be before. Yeah.
Seems about what it was last year.
These are the only, pardon,
And so those are about the prices we got last year,
the little high one,
that and that one there.
yeah, yeah.
They're still falling in that same price between 70 to 120,000.
Sort of hate to table it, may not get any better, we've just got these, we're out, there's some other.
Oh, yeah, as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna get,
All right.
Oh, that's okay, Tom.
you have the money, you wanna do it?
I guess I make a motion that we accept D.L. Anthony's contracting of $71,466 to demolish and remove the existing pavilion and construct the new pavilion, 24 feet by 48 feet with the concrete slab.
Do we have specs and stuff? Okay,
Yeah. Remember it all like that in front of
yeah,
me.
yeah. I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Opposed?
Could you help us with the contract for that?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Terry, if you can just maybe the bid into me tomorrow, I can share the packet on you.
Okay. Okay, I can send you all the stuff so you know what the.
And he may have one, if you use the standard, and then we can drop that if we need to.
Okay.
That's for that one, and I'll put this back together here.
Okay. Moving on to monthly reports.
You guys all have a copy, on the police report for the month. It's, back there. About 3 or 4 from the back. pretty busy, not as much on the traffic stops with winter time, of course, with the snow and the ice, of course, you can't see the lines for the speeding and stuff, so that is down a little bit. And you can see on the income for the month of what was brought in from the fines. Okay, with that, also I want to let you know that Mark is applying and going to take care of the paperwork for a federal, what's called a JAG grant for up to $250,000, which won't be announced till fall, but for equipment, as we all know, budget's tight for us, and this is kind of geared towards, municipalities that are having some troubles with, buying things because of their budget, but just let you know that it's not a matching grant, there's no money, we don't have to add anything to it. Mark's gonna handle the paperwork and let's get a few things from Terry, but as Mark keeps me updated, I will keep you guys updated with what's going on with it. It's called a JAG grant, it's a federal grant for up to $250,000. I mean, when there's no money that we have to provide, we normally don't, get a person a second on it because we're not, spending any of the money, but if he's want to go that route, make it a
It might be best to have
to
a
do it
motion.
in that way, because they are going to send a copy of what we talk about with the grant, so
Right.
if someone would do that, please.
I make a motion that we have Officer Sergeant Kelly apply for the JAG grant for the equipment that he's trying to get.
I second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
I didn't receive anything from Justin today
And for
for the animal control. I didn't receive what you
Yeah,
wanted.
me too.
I called him, but he didn't get it to me in time, so.
Okay, that's fine.
And also, I would like if, council, if you would, let's get it set where the employee parking will be on the, I'll call it the track side of the building. I would like all the employees to be parked in one area, if we could. I would like that to come from council. We're having some issues on the parking, and this is the way it will stop right here.
Okay.
If you would, please.
I make a motion that the police cars parked on the railroad track side of the borough building to help facilitate movement around the building.
Makes it easier for plowing and mowing, and it's just, it needs to be done. Let's do it.
Street crew.
They already park over there.
Well, just to make sure that.
Yes, I can say all borough,
Just make
All
all.
borough
except for the
employees.
borough secretary. Yeah, she can stay up here.
Not parking in the garage.
Stay up here. Please.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Unless anybody has anything for me, that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. I guess no animal control report. Code enforcement, Tom?
Hold on.
Oh, what's in your book, if you have any questions? I talked to the lady down at the laundromat. The cops are going around and checking it.
Yeah.
And plus, yeah, they are going around. Because he is open 24 hours, I
Yeah,
think.
he's open 24 hours now. Yes.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our report's in there, if you have any questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Get pretty busy here, overseas.
Yeah.
One thing I plan on doing the next couple of weeks is going around, these people have sump pumps pumping out on the sidewalk road. Isn't that now?
That's
We have
an
an
ordinance,
ordinance
Tom.
against that.
That's an ordinance, right?
Yeah, we have an ordinance against that. We've already, well, I can send a letter out today to a guy that I've told him 4 or 5 times.
We've been getting complaints about it, so, especially when it's freezing and icy.
Yeah, but I don't know where to put it.
Run it back into their yard or something.
Yeah.
Parks and Recreation.
We met with the Curwensville Base Committee, and Jim Hoover and Robbie Moore volunteered to be on their committee to help them out, so we'll have some nice feedback from them from time to time. And I think I spoke enough before of the pavilions and things. That's all I have on point.
Those pavilions is needed done for,
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. I mean, there's cables and metal plates holding it together. It's,
you can't rent
yeah,
something. They
it's a
just,
shame.
I mean, I agree, I agree, it's a lot of money, but
Is that something that'll be done this year here?
I would assume so. Yeah,
That's the plan.
yeah. That's the thing.
Streets. Dave?
the only, well, I have a couple things. I just want to give a heads up to the police and the street guys for doing a good job with these snowstorms. Keeping up with them, and the police calling them, and the guys getting out. Get a lot of compliments from the street committee in the winter. You know, they do a good job. Still no go on the Arlie grant yet?
I haven't got the packets from Eads yet.
Yeah,
That
that's
should be any day now.
okay.
And Urban Park Road as well.
Yes, we've been waiting on both of them, so hopefully we'll get something soon and get going on them. Get the lights
Before
fixed.
summer's over again already.
Yeah. And honest, that's about all I have, other than the mower that we already approved.
Okay. Keith?
Fire departments, in your booklets, they had 22 calls last month, 6 structure fires, 1 vehicle fire, 5 medical assist, a vehicle accident with an entrapment. As always, they're on top of it.
Oh, man, they are. They do a wonderful,
an excellent job.
wonderful job.
Was it Wednesday we had that one snowstorm popped up right there
Yes.
across Wigglesworth.
Yeah,
They had a tractor trailer and a car, and I think another vehicle flipped in there, but
yeah.
our crew was down there and the police, and
Right
they had
there.
it cleaned up pretty quick.
And they help other ones too.
Yep.
Municipalities.
They were on 879. Somebody hit that embankment there at 879 across from, is that the one you're talking about? Where it was?
Yep.
Yeah, that's when they hit, somebody hit that.
They had that tractor trailer, and there was a tractor trailer flung, barge right behind it and come out around, there's cars were smashed.
I saw the blue car.
There was another vehicle in there, just not sure what it was. It was open.
Okay, moving on here, finance, Harriet?
Last 2 pages, second to last page, you have your account balances there. Very good for us. And the last page is the February bills. It's a little high, but that was when we bought that police car, you know, not high, but it's, so. I make a motion that we pay February bills $62,545.81.
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you.
Thank you. And Terry, I'll give you a call tomorrow. And finish up on everything, if that's okay.
Sounds good.
How's Rob, I said, huh?
I will.
This is the first time I've ever met you so high.
Self-chart.
Okay.
I don't think they've done anything yet.
Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Like I said, I gave Jenny that